What you say to yourself every single day is shaping your destiny, whether you realize it or not. Most people wake up and immediately feed their minds with limitations. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. What if I fail? And then they wonder why they feel stuck. But here's the truth. Your words shape your world. The way you speak to yourself determines your confidence, your energy, and ultimately your results in life. Think about it. Have you ever seen a champion, a leader, a person who's truly thriving walk around saying, I hope I don't mess this up or I'm just not that lucky? Hell no. They train their minds just like they train their bodies. They feed themselves powerful words because they know that the mind, when left unchecked, will default to fear, doubt, and excuses. But when you take control, when you program yourself with empowering beliefs, you don't just think differently, you act differently. So starting today, you need to rewire that inner voice. When you wake up, instead of saying, I don't feel like doing this, say, I am in charge of my energy and I show up with power. Instead of saying, I don't know if I can, say, I figure things out. I always do. Because what you say over and over again becomes what you believe, and once you believe it, you live it. Let's get real. Your brain is like a supercomputer and your self-talk is the program running it. If you keep feeding it garbage, it's going to produce garbage results. But if you upgrade the software, if you start speaking to yourself with power, certainty, and confidence, you'll start making decisions from a place of strength instead of fear. You'll stop holding back. You'll take action, and action, that's where transformation happens. Now, I know some people will say, but I don't feel confident. I don't feel strong. Let me tell you something. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you create. And it starts with your words. Speak power into your life before you even see the results. Because when you do, your mind starts believing it, your actions follow, and suddenly your life is unrecognizable. And listen, this isn't just about feeling good. This is about rewiring your entire identity. Because if you keep telling yourself, I'm not a morning person, guess what? You'll keep hitting snooze. If you say, I'm bad with money, you'll keep making bad financial choices. But the second you shift those words, I am disciplined, I make smart financial decisions, I am in control of my life, everything changes. So from this moment forward, commit to speaking life into your future. Train that inner voice like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you consistently tell yourself. So decide right now to feed your mind the words that will build the life you were meant to live. Now step up and own it. Fear is the biggest liar you will ever meet. It whispers in your ear telling you that you're not ready, that you're not capable, that you'll fail. It convinces you to wait, to hold back, to play it safe, and if you listen to it, it will control your life. But here's the truth. Fear is just a story. It's nothing more than a thought, a pattern of the mind. And like any habit, you can break it. Every successful person you admire has felt fear. Every champion, every leader, every game changer has faced moments where their heart pounded, their hands shook, and their mind screamed, what if I fail? The difference, they did it anyway. They refused to let fear decide their future. And that's the decision you have to make. Because if you let fear run the show, you'll spend your life stuck in the same job, stuck in the same problems, stuck in a life that's smaller than what you're capable of. Fear will always be there, but courage is about acting in spite of it. If you wait until you feel fearless, you'll be waiting forever. The only way to break through fear is to face it head on. Think about the times in your life when you were scared but did it anyway. Maybe it was speaking up, taking a risk, pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. What happened? You grew. You became stronger. And you proved to yourself that fear wasn't real. Because that's the secret. Fear is only real if you obey it. The second you challenge it, it loses its power. The second you step forward, fear steps back. It's like a shadow. It looks big. It feels overwhelming. But the moment you shine a light on it, it disappears. And let's be real, most of the things you're afraid of, they never even happen. The rejection you fear, the failure you imagine, the embarrassment that keeps you up at night, it's all in your head. The mind is a master at creating worst-case scenarios that will never come true. So instead of focusing on fear, focus on your power. Focus on what happens when you push through. Because every time you do, you build confidence. You train your brain to see fear as a challenge, not a stop sign. You start to realize that the life you want is on the other side of fear. So from this moment forward, you don't let fear decide. You decide. You take action. You show up. And when fear says, what if you fail? You say, what if I succeed? When fear says you're not ready, you say, watch me. When fear says you can't, you say, I will. Because fear is a liar. And today is the day you stop believing it. Now go take what's yours. You're in control. Not your past. Not your circumstances. Not the opinions of others. The second you own that, everything changes. Too many people go through life feeling like victims, blaming their parents, their boss, the economy, their upbringing. They say, I can't because, and list every excuse they can find. But let me tell you something. The moment you take responsibility for everything in your life, you gain the power to change anything in your life. It doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter what happened to you. What matters is what you decide to do next. There are people who have faced unimaginable struggles, poverty, loss, betrayal, and still found a way to rise. Why? Because they refused to let their past dictate their future. They made a choice. And that's what it comes down to, a choice. Because here's the truth. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every setback, every obstacle, every challenge is there to shape you, to strengthen you, to teach you something. But most people don't see it that way. They see problems as punishment instead of possibilities. They focus on what they can't control instead of what they can. And that's why they stay stuck. But not you. Not anymore. From this moment on, you shift your mindset. You stop saying, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I use this? You stop saying, I have to, and start saying, I get to. Because everything changes when you realize that you are in charge. And let's be real, there will always be things outside your control. You can't control the weather, the economy, or other people's actions, but you can control how you respond. You can control your effort, your attitude, your mindset. And that's where all your power is. If you focus on what you can't control, you'll feel powerless. But the moment you shift your focus to what you control, you become unstoppable. Because there is nothing more powerful than a person who refuses to be a victim. A person who takes full responsibility for their life. A person who says, no matter what happens, I will find a way. That's the mindset of champions. That's the mindset of winners. And that's the mindset you need to step into right now. So make the decision, no more excuses, no more waiting for someone to save you, no more blaming. From this moment on, you take full ownership of your life. You decide how you think. You decide how you act. You decide what you create. And when you do that, when you fully step into your power, there's nothing that can stop you. Now go make it happen. Growth is the key. If you're not growing, you're dying. Life is not meant to be lived in the same routine, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, staying at the same level. You were designed to evolve, to expand, to push beyond what you thought was possible. And if you're not doing that, if you're not constantly improving, then you're shrinking. Because nothing in life stands still. You're either moving forward or falling behind. Too many people get stuck in a comfort zone thinking they've made it or that they don't need to improve anymore. But comfort is a slow killer. It lulls you into complacency. It tricks you into thinking you're safe when in reality you're limiting yourself. Because if you're not challenging yourself, if you're not stepping into new situations, if you're not learning something new every day, then you're settling. And settling is the fastest way to mediocrity. Growth isn't just about knowledge, it's about who you become. It's about stretching yourself beyond what's easy, beyond what's comfortable, and into a place where real transformation happens. The people who succeed in life, whether in business, relationships, health, or mindset, are the ones who never stop growing. They seek out challenges. They push their limits. They take risks. They fail, learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. And here's the truth. Progress equals happiness. You want to feel alive. You want to wake up excited. Then grow. Learn a new skill. Push your body beyond what you thought it could do. Challenge yourself to think bigger, to act faster, to lead better. Because when you grow, you feel momentum. And momentum is everything. But here's the catch. Growth doesn't just happen. It's a choice. You don't get stronger by wishing for it. You get stronger by putting in the reps. You don't become more confident by hoping. You become more confident by stepping into the situations that scare you. Growth requires action, and action requires commitment. You have to decide that every day you're going to get better. Even if it's just 1%. Even if it's uncomfortable. Even if it means failing along the way. Because failure, that's not the opposite of growth. That's part of it. Every time you fall, every time you struggle, every time you hit a wall, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to come back stronger, smarter, and more prepared. The only way to lose is to stop trying. So ask yourself, where in your life are you coasting? Where are you avoiding growth? Where have you convinced yourself that this is just how things are? Because the truth is, you are capable of so much more. But you have to demand it from yourself. You have to raise your standards. You have to push beyond the limits you've set. Because when you commit to growth, when you decide to get better every single day, nothing can stop you. Now step up and make it happen. Raise your standards. That's the secret to transforming your life. Not hoping, not wishing, not setting goals that you never follow through on. Your standards determine your results. The level you demand from yourself, not what you want, not what you think you deserve, but what you absolutely refuse to settle for. That's what creates lasting change. Think about it. Every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, your mindset is a reflection of what you tolerate. If you tolerate being out of shape, if you tolerate toxic relationships, if you tolerate making excuses, then that's exactly what you'll get. But the second you decide this is no longer acceptable, everything shifts. Because when you raise your standards, you raise your actions. And when you raise your actions, you raise your life. People who succeed at the highest levels don't have different opportunities. They have different standards. They don't settle for average. They don't tolerate laziness. They don't accept excuses. They expect more from themselves every single day. And because of that, they perform at a level most people can't even imagine. And listen, this isn't about perfection. This isn't about never making mistakes. It's about refusing to lower the bar when things get tough. Because it's easy to have high standards when life is going your way. But what do you do when you're tired, when you're stressed, when nothing is working? That's when your standards really show. Raising your standards means making a non-negotiable commitment to yourself. It means deciding, I don't care what happens, I'm going to follow through. It means shifting your identity from I hope I can to this is just who I am. You don't try to be disciplined, you are disciplined. You don't try to be successful, you are successful because you refuse to live any other way. And let me tell you something, your standards don't just impact you. They impact everyone around you. When you raise your standards, you inspire others to do the same. You become the example. You set the tone. You show people what's possible when you refuse to settle. But here's the truth, nobody is coming to do this for you. No one is going to raise your standards for you. You have to decide. You have to set the bar. You have to demand more from yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. So look at your life. Where are you settling? Where are you accepting less than what you're capable of? Where have you been making excuses instead of making progress? Call yourself out on it, and then make the decision right now to never accept less than your best again. Because once you commit, once you truly raise your standards, there's no going back. And that's when life changes forever. Gratitude unlocks abundance. You want more in life? More success, more joy, more energy, more fulfillment. It starts with appreciating what you already have. Because here's the truth. If you can't be grateful for what's in front of you right now, you'll never be satisfied with what's coming next. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's a powerful state of being that shifts everything. It takes you out of scarcity and into abundance. It takes you out of fear and into certainty. It rewires your brain to focus on what's possible instead of what's missing. Most people live in a constant state of not enough money, not enough time, not enough progress. And because that's their focus, that's exactly what they experience. But when you train yourself to focus on what's already working, when you start to appreciate even the smallest blessings, your health, your opportunities, the people around you, you create a reality. You start seeing solutions instead of problems. You start attracting more of what you want instead of what you fear. And listen, gratitude isn't just some feel-good concept, it's a discipline. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. You can't just be grateful when things are easy. You have to be grateful, especially when things are hard, because that's when it matters most. Anyone can be grateful when life is going their way. But the real test is whether you can find something to appreciate when everything seems to be falling apart. That's when gratitude becomes a weapon. That's when it gives you power instead of weakness. Because here's the thing, you can't be fearful and grateful at the same time. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. You can't be stressed out and grateful at the same time. Gratitude neutralizes negativity. It shifts your focus. It brings you back to what really matters. And let me tell you something, success without gratitude is empty. We've all seen people who have all the money, all the fame, all the achievements, and yet they're miserable. Why? Because they never learned to appreciate the journey. They kept thinking, I'll be happy when, but happiness never came because they never practiced gratitude along the way. So right now, make gratitude a daily practice. Wake up every morning and find 3 things, just 3 that you're grateful for. Say them out loud. Feel them. It doesn't matter how big or small they are, just acknowledge them. Because when you start your day with gratitude, you train your brain to look for the good. And when you train your brain to look for the good, you start seeing more of it. Because gratitude isn't just about appreciating the past or the present, it's about creating your future. When you live in a state of gratitude, life opens up, opportunities flow, energy rises, and suddenly you realize you were never lacking in the first place. Now go live in abundance. At the end of the day, your life is shaped by the thoughts you think, the words you speak, and the standards you set for yourself. Every single day, you have a choice to live in fear or in power, to settle or to grow, to focus on what's missing or to embrace the abundance around you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. It's on you. But that's the best part because it means you have the power to create whatever life you decide. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop letting excuses, fear, or doubt hold you back. Step up, take ownership, raise your standards, speak power into your life, push yourself beyond your comfort zone and commit to growth every single day. Because the truth is, you are capable of more than you've ever imagined. You have everything it takes. But you have to believe it, you have to own it, you have to act on it. And when you do, that's when life changes. That's when you break through. That's when you step into the person you were always meant to be. So go out there and make it happen. Live with passion. Live with purpose, and most of all, never settle for less than you're capable of. Good luck, and thank you.